Hey everybody, it's pal Drew Dracy, and I wanted to share some comics that come out that a lot of people aren't really aware of. This is like the year prior to Daredevil Born Again, which is probably the most reprinted Daredevil story ever. It's like 6 issues and it fits in all kinds of formats. And I have the artist edition, which is just phenomenal because he uses a lot of whiteout for effects, and you can see he's playing with all kinds of tools. So this was, he started off a little rough, like everybody does. And here's the thing, though, I would almost rather have this in Epic Collection or a Marvel Masterworks form. But the thing is, Marvel Masterworks currently is coming up to, it's like doing 92 through 201 or so, and it's not great. The first few issues with Klaus Janson are a home run. I love it. And then he left the book for whatever. He went over to DC, I believe, doing Superman and some other special books. And Denny O'Neil, he's a great writer, but I just don't think, he gets Daredevil as a character, but because he's been editing the book forever. But I just don't think he had a lot more to say after Miller left. It's kind of hard to follow a fan favorite, even if you're a veteran in the industry. But also, I always felt O'Neil was an odd fit with Marvel. He did Iron Man 2, which started off pretty good, and I liked Rhodey as filling as Iron Man, but I really hated Tony Stark being in the gutter. I just thought that was kind of pathetic and a little over the top, but that's just me. So this would take like another Marvel Masterwork or two to get to, and because I'm not getting the next couple. It's just I wish they had the Epic collections out already, but they gotta. You gotta sell the hardcover and then the soft cover later. So I'm rambling, but that's what I do best. This is penciled ink by David Mazzucchelli, O'Neil Mazzucchelli, and then Frank Miller comes back for one issue with John Buscema, and inked by Gary Talek, who was inking Sal Buscema on Hulk. So this is a year, not a year, it's a while before Born Again, and he's already matured at this point. I showed this earlier on Comics from My Spinner Rack, my other book, my other channel. I can't talk. And I love the sepia effect, the gray wash. It's just glorious stuff. Glorious. Hey everybody, it's Boss Hog. So, what's really interesting is when David Mazzucchelli, he never backslid. Like, there's some artists that get better and then they're like, whoop, they, for an issue or two they're kind of wonky. The way he presents Daredevil is better and better each issue. The ones he inks anyway, because you're going to see there's some fill-in inkers that don't quite work out. And but it's a monthly book, so that's sort of how it went back then. This is great. Good stuff. Like, I have to tell you, it's great. Howdy. And here's the thing that pisses me off. The covers aren't on here, but this is 2002, and they didn't really standardize a lot of the trade paperbacks. In fact, they had so many different formats, it was goofy. So, you want to see the covers? Here we go. In the back. Yeah, trading card size. What the frig? Yeah, Barry Windsor Smith. Oh yeah. We'll cram him down there. Same with Frank Miller, and that's just horrible. There's that cover, and that's it. What is that? 226. Okay. I just had to get that out of the way. But now he's inking himself again. Or he's still inking himself. Yeah, and that, boy, doesn't that remind you of Born Again a bit? But it wasn't a swipe or anything. He just kind of, he knew what he was doing. And also the stories called for the same situation. And he's doing his technique of trying to hear across the city, drowning out all the other noises. This guy's called the Gale, Gael, and I think that's something to do with the IRA way back when. Get that work. Oh, I mean, also it has the roughness of a Klaus Janson, who, he was the real hero throughout the 70s. Didn't matter who he worked with or not. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. And what's really I find interesting, now this page, this splash page, I think he's getting actually like cues from Gene Colan, to be frank. I mean, maybe he did. I'm sure he did. Some made his own photos and for reference. But I love that. Wow. I really get the feeling that he's like kind of going for that Gene Colan reality kind of style. Realities. She's temporarily blinded. Man, that's so great. And, that's a very Gene Colan face right there. And I was digging it. I was still buying the issue after Klaus Janson left. I kept buying the books because I had a collection. I got to keep my collection running, or else the book will get better, and then I'll miss out the issues in between. So it's not the most interesting story. This is a real heavy trip here. Fog, that logo, that's great, but it's one of the darkest Daredevil stories ever. Special thanks to Frank Miller. And his ex-fiancée, Heather, is drunk and depressed. And he's heading over to see her because she needs him. Wow. And look at that, the fog. Oh my gosh. But, yeah. Oh, finds Heather. And, bear with me a second. And she's just really upset, and the drinking isn't helping. Says, you said you were in some kind of danger. It was a lie, little lie. I was afraid you wouldn't come if I didn't tell a little lie. I've been so lonely since we broke up, so lonely and afraid. I'd been out with other men, lots of other men, and I'm still lonely. I can't get rid of the loneliness. That's a problem you have to solve for yourself. Goodbye. Matt! See, that's a Gene Colan image. And I'm not saying it's a swipe. I just see his physicality, and these poses just have that Gene Colan kind of quality, which is good. Oh boy. This gets heavy too. It's a phone call. Matt, this is Heather. I got to save it. Because of you, I didn't do something I should have done, and a woman died. He rips the phone away. I gotta get to the office. And he finds out that she, ended her life. And just horrifying. He says, if I'd come when she called, she wouldn't have done it to herself. Ugly way to die. Nobody should die like that. My fault. We broke up. I treated her badly. The note that came canceling our wedding, I should have known it was a phony. I should have asked her. Oh, just a flashback. In the Miller series, well, the first Miller run, towards the end, they were going to get engaged, but Foggy asked the Black Widow, a.k.a. Natasha, a.k.a. Previously a Russian spy. Foggy says, hey, how good are you at forgery? So what she did is she wrote them both letters that they were breaking up, so they didn't know that. And that was a wise thing to do at the time. So he's just wrecked with guilt. And he says, I'll get him, Heather. I'll find the man who murdered you, and I will break him. That's gutsy stuff. But I did not kill her. and he's just reflecting. He's at a graveside. He goes to see good old Phil Urich, and man, the musculature is just really great. And Colin is also good at doing these kind of casual poses too. I mean, I see a lot of artists that they can't draw somebody sitting casual, like they look like they're ready to lift their fists up, and and all their musculature is poking out of their chest and all that shit. So he goes to Italy. Really great stuff. So how about that? So Mazzucchelli's doing it, man. He's building. He's getting better and better with each issue. Wow. How's that for creepy? See, some of these fighting poses do remind me of something like that. Do remind me of Gene Colan, but never. There we go, right there. Never any pretension to swipe. I mean, when people start off borrowing from Jack Kirby just to get themselves acquainted with the style, it seems to be really obvious. But this kind of creeped up on me because he had already been on this book for like a year, and now, unfortunately, he has somebody else inking over him, and it's kind of, it's not a good match because he's done great work before. And now that's a very Gene Colan panel right there. For a second, I thought that was Winda from Howard the Duck, and that was Beverly. It's just Switzler. How's that her name? I mean, it's still solid, but it looks better on pulp paper. But when you put on ultra shiny paper, it kind of simplifies and lines drop off sometimes. And this is coming from experience. Some of my early stuff, I did an issue of Steel, I think, where this great artist Lee Sullivan from Britain, he did a book, he did a page. Excuse me. He did an issue. I inked 4 of his pages, but he used a super slick paper, that professional comic art paper. There's like the gritty, toothy stuff that I love, and then there was the slick stuff that I hated. And Lee he drew underneath with it was a waxy blue pencil. I mean, there's blue pencils that do have the waxy feel, and some that don't. So I don't like it because the ink doesn't lay on it. It kind of like just slips over it. And, I did what I thought was a good job. And then I erased the pencils underneath. And I was like, oh, my God, I don't have time to fix this. It's FedEx time. Oh, my God. And, so that was just I was so pissed off at myself. But, yeah, I mean, it was like my second year in comics, I think, like that. So maybe I can excuse myself or forgive myself. I don't know. I've done some cool shit since. How about that? Very Gene Colan. How about this? Creepy looking Vulture. And the Vulture he's always up to whoever I think he's dependent on who's drawing the story or writing the story, because this is breathtaking. I mean, O'Neill is seeing what Mazzucchelli is delivering on a monthly basis, and he steps up. Even though he's been around forever, it's like Denny O'Neill, when he went back to DC, he became the Batman, editor on High, and rightfully so, because he and Neil redefined Batman to a new generation, got him away from the TV crap. And he also did Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and a bunch of other stuff. So I think he's really, really, as he saw Mazzucchelli, it's like, this is really great. It's like, it's hard to write over average art, and make it appealing. So, wow, that's so cool. And Roger Stern with John Romita actually made Vulture cool again. What happened was he never had an origin. So Roger Stern thought one up, and it also explained how this old buzzard, the Vulture, the old buzzard, how he was super strong even though he looked ancient. And there you go. I just have that Colan vibe. It's beautiful. Also, I love when heroes and villains they swap and they go on to other books. Wow. He's trying to brace himself. And he accidentally tugs at the tombstone. Zoom in on that bad boy. One thing I find interesting is the last 2 years Miller was on Daredevil, he got rid of the cord part of the swinging part of the Billy Club. He just used it to club the shit out of people, or take out the lights and stuff. But it makes a comeback, and it sort of makes sense. I mean, it does. Wow. How about that? Now, come on. That's a beautiful Colan-inspired panel. And let me repeat, there are no swipes. He's just using the same language as an education. And then he went further and further from that. He went through that phase and reinvented himself like several times over. And then Batman Year One, I mean, geez, that's completely different. I kind of like that. It's like you and everything you represent, the death and decay that eats away at man until he surrenders, the horror that pulls you down into that pit. Well, I'm not surrendering, kind mister. Got that? And he finally got a system. Because, anyway, here we go. Another, Dennis Jank, he's a good inker, but, we're seeing the difference here. This is the Gladiator. He gets a suit from a museum, not his standard superhero one that John Romita designed. Wow. So it just, like I said, it tightens up too much of the halftones that Mazzucchelli is trying to present, and I certainly couldn't have done this the first couple years of my career. It took me a while to learn extra tricks to create different halftone effects. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead. This is Badlands. This is a one-time filler, not filler. It is a fill-in issue, but it's not filler. Love the folds. Gary Talek is at this point, the inkers were always finishers. They were not tracers. So a lot of this going on here, the legs, that's all Gary Talek. And I don't know what happened to him. He's there for a long time. And when he did Hulk, and maybe he did the Savage Sword of Conan or so. Oh, who knows? Who knows? So there's this punk kid, gets his ass kicked. But they're it's this little town, and they forgive the kid because it's a small town. They all know each other, and he's just acting up. He's just being there's the mom. For 20 years I've nurtured my sons, tried to show them a good path. And they sin and sin with the guns and knives. If he's after Billy, and he's bad enough. Wait a second. If he's after Billy, that's bad enough. But if he starts poking around, there's no telling what we'll both know what he'll find. Morris. And we know your hands are as dirty as mine. That's a good line. And here's the old harlot who, he's getting some information from her, but he's not trying to strong arm anybody. So Matt Merrick's just is he's not as defenseless as they seem, and he's not putting on the blind act. He just has shades on. I love he got the biker outfit like it's Brando or something. How about that art? I love that. So she's still beating the shit out of the kids, and I guess it ain't working for them because they're thick-skulled. So I'm not going to tell you the end of it. But anyway, yeah. What do you think, huh? Leave me notes below. Here's the Barry Windsor Smith cover that should have been presented without copy inside the book. But but it's really good. It was only $19.99 at the time, which is kind of the average. I'll turn this upside down so you can see the whole figures. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all. Wanted to share that to you. It's really great. Or if you could get the individual issues, they're great also. But like I said, this will be around probably in like the next 2 Marvel Masterworks. I'm going to skip those and get to this one. The information on this one. Well, that's about it. And you can. I'm a funny book artist, and you can get a hold of me. Let's see. Just shot out the window. I screw this up all the time. But I gotta spell it right. La 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 la. There we go. So I do a lot of covers. I can't talk. At the end of the video, I lose my mind. Okay, I do a lot of cover recreations. Shit, I didn't put an I in my own name. It is late. Okay, losing my mind here. Okay. It is Drew Geraci, comics at gmail.com. And here's some of my wares that I wanted to share. If you're interested, that's a pencil ink mission. That's actual size. That is a cover sketch. This is it's a 11 by 17 piece, inked over a guy named Sheldon Go. And good lord, did I do all these upside down? There's Captain Atom. I did 11 by 17, painstakingly recreated. I even write the friggin' comics code, the stamp on it. So anyway, that's all. That's about it. And seek out these comics. They're excellent stuff. And have a good day. Please leave comments below. Please hit like and subscribe. Turn somebody else onto it. I love your comments, everybody. Don't be shy. Even if it's like, hey, that's neat. Okay. Take care.